Hi Sumaya,
Hi Savia, how are you
how are
doing?
you doing? I'm doing well. What about
I
you?
am doing amazing. Fabulous.
So, you know what? Recently I was reading this article on LinkedIn actually that person was in his 40s and he put the thing about how many things he have unlearned, basically 45 things that he have unlearned.
Okay.
And that I believe that list is too huge, and it also gave an inspiration that we should talk because unlearning is something that we all have been doing it unconsciously, consciously. We are actively learning something, but at the same time, in order to learn something, we are also maybe letting go some of our belief system, you can say, right? So yeah, I think we can talk about that today. We can mention some of the things that I have unlearned, some of the things that you have unlearned.
Yeah, this is actually a very interesting topic because we do have so many things happening in the background and we are actively unlearning things and relearning them as we go. I think I have a lot of things that in my life so far I have unlearned and relearned in a hard way. And I would definitely love to discuss it here.
Okay, so I think before going into this, I would also want to add one point. I think life has just a way of quietly just dismantling everything, how some of the things are supposed to function. I think unlearning is a process that keeps on happening, whether you accept it or not. Like suddenly one day, I believe you wake up and you are like, oh my God, like what was I doing? Like suddenly you get a new insight, new perspective. So
Mm-hmm.
let's get into it. What is the most important thing that you have unlearned?
If I have like, if there's one thing that I've unlearned and relearned that really changed my perspective towards life or even to my own self, is that I have learned to not be so harsh on myself. I have learned that I have been brutal to myself all my life, and I have learned to take it slow. I have learned to be kind to myself. I feel like, I think it's the upbringing. It's the upbringing,
I
how,
think
parents.
right, and I also think that it is a part of growing up. It's like as you grow
Yeah.
up, you sort of start loving yourself more, and it happens because you start knowing yourself better. You start removing yourself from the belief that everybody else has placed on you. I can also relate to this because I also feel like, earlier maybe my self esteem used to be different, but now it is much better. Now I don't care about the other voices and all of that.
Isn't that so important? Because there's a lot of things. The reason why you're being harsh to yourself, there are many factors.
Hmm.
So, unlearning is all about, how you're trying to segregate them. First of all,
Yeah.
identifying them that, okay, these
Hmm.
are the factors that are pushing me towards being harsh to myself. And we don't do that. We don't understand,
We
how
don't.
that works. Exactly. So, there could be many things. For me, I was, obsessed with this fact that, I'm the first child of the house and I
Hmm.
have to be good. My parents, have to be proud of me. Or then, I go to school and then I see a lot of people, my peers, and then I would feel this pressure to be better than all of them. And I also feel like there is always this one thing that we about ourselves are very particular about. For instance,
Okay.
there could be this one
Hmm.
attribute or this one skill that you will never
Okay.
accept that someone is better than you.
Okay.
So for instance, I was really good at
Hmm.
drawing and art and painting when I was a kid. So if I saw someone in my class who's doing better than me, I would never be able to accept that.
But
I
why
would
was
put
it?
my
How?
yeah,
But
I
why
would
was
put
it? Like
myself.
how
Yeah.
come? Like how can a kid at that age, learn that okay, I
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
else can be better, and how does that happen?
The competitiveness. I mean, for some things,
Hmm.
you don't choose to be better at that. I mean, you don't
Hmm.
choose to want that really desperately. For instance, being
Hmm.
having really good grades. So
Right.
some people might not choose that for themselves. They don't want that, but then their parents might be pressurizing them to have good grades.
Oh.
So
Oh.
that's why
Right.
they're competitive. But there
Right.
are few things that like at a personal level, it matters to me, and I
Okay.
have put time into being that person. And how can someone else be better than me in this? This is
Hmm.
my field, this is my
Hmm.
arena, this is my, I own this thing. Like I said, I was
Understood.
really good at art. So if I saw someone else is doing better than me, I would be so upset about that, and I would punish myself, like trying better and like scrutinizing myself,
Hmm.
getting obsessed on that and belittling myself in front of others who are doing it better.
Oh.
So that is something that eventually, as I grew, I realized that there can be so many people who are better than you.
Right. One important thing that you also learn is that to not compare. And it's just something that you have to
Yeah.
learn. You have to
Hmm.
accept
Hmm.
that not everybody have the same, circumstances, same timelines, same upbringing. It could be very
Hmm.
different.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Upbringing for sure. And comparison. I mean, I don't know how to even start talking about that. I think this has been my whole
I
life. Yeah. I mean, there are people who are still struggling, by the way. I know
hmm,
people of my age
hmm,
right now who still compare themselves, who are not really happy with who they are.
hmm.
It makes you insecure. Insecurity, you don't want that in your life. Honestly. And at this age, if you're being insecure, you have not learned to appreciate yourself, love yourself, and accept the way you are. It's not taking you anywhere. It's
But how do you
destructive.
learn? How do you learn to not compare?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So I feel as you grow up, you realize that you have to accept yourself the way you are, and
Right.
no, stopping to compare. At some point as you grow up, you realize that your mental health it's more important than other things. So as you compare yourself, as you keep being in that race to be better than others, or I have to be this, I have to that, that is causing you a lot of stress. That's not good for your mental health. So
Right.
eventually you realize, I cannot keep up with this.
Hmm.
I have to live my life. I have my
Right.
responsibilities.
Right. I think as we progress, it's like a lot of trivial things start not mattering anymore, in the sense
Hmm.
that the priorities change, right? And the one important thing that you also mentioned about acceptance, and I totally believe it is accepting yourself and just being okay with the fact that there are going to be people who are going to be much, much better than you. No matter,
So
like,
much
even if you
better.
are a billionaire, there would be someone else who's like a
Someone.
trillionaire. Like, if you are a trillionaire, if you are a
Yeah.
trillionaire, there would still be someone else who would be like the most healthiest person, or most, you can
Yeah,
say, like
yeah,
rich in other
agreed.
forms.
And also, life humbles you down, don't you think?
It does.
Life
It's
humbles
crazy
you.
and
I
it's
mean,
scary.
as you grow up, life puts you through so many trials and tests that you
Yeah,
realize that
it's
what
like your
does really
ego
matter.
is
Your
right,
ego
right?
is knocked out and knocked
Ego
down.
is broken, and it's
So,
such a beautiful lesson as well, right? Through this you actually discover yourself, you actually learn, and I feel like you are also setting yourself free. So, there is one thing that I have also unlearned, which is related to the comparison aspect that you were talking about, and that is that life is not a race.
oh
Everyone
yeah.
have their own timelines, and I think it has been such an important thing to accept that, my siblings' timelines are different, my friends' timelines are different, especially with respect to marriage, especially with respect to career. I think it's also about timing, right? Like, when you say that life doesn't have a timeline, what it
Hmm.
actually means is that learning to accept your own timeline on your own timing,
Hmm.
basically. Because I,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
believe that one most important thing that I've also learned recently is that the God's timing is perfect.
Yeah.
Whatever God has planned for us, it will happen according to that timeline. Like, no matter how much we fight, no matter how much we say that, oh, you know what, I want this by this time. By 30, I want to do this. By 30, I want, like, 5 kids and all. It's not necessary that it will happen that way. So
5 kids at 30.
there are
I I feels very unrealistic to me, but I know there are people.
it is
I
possible.
know
It
there are
is.
people. Yeah, this is the growth curve for us, and also the comparison part plus giving yourself the permission to move at your own pace. That life is not a race. There are so many other elements, and the pressure of marriage. I also feel people pleasing. Have we
Okay.
done that? Are you guilty of that? Are you still doing
I
it?
am. I am. I used to be a huge people pleaser, and, like, I also want to share the thing that I have unlearned is not to be very much codependent on a friend. And that is
Hmm.
what it also, basically, I used to people please, and I think I used to people please out of codependency. I used to be like, you know what, like, what you are doing, okay, I want to do the same thing. Okay, you
Oh,
are not going to do that, okay, fine, I'll also not do. And basically it was just me trying to please them. And it has also happened with respect to my career, where, I have just went ahead and beyond just to impress someone.
at workplace, we all do that. We all
Right.
try
No.
to validate ourselves,
Yes, and I think at
be a
workplace
people
it's
pleaser.
very common, and we don't even realize that we are people pleasing all the time. Or maybe we are
Yeah.
realizing we don't care, because what matters for us is okay, validation matters, the outcome matters. So that is why we are like, fine, I'm okay with people pleasing if that's the way it can happen, right?
No, but I think working in corporate, any workspace, if you're
Hmm.
with a group of people, just
Hmm.
like your peers, when there's one person who is leading you all,
Hmm.
don't they push you to compare yourself with each other? like these weekly progress reports and top performer of the month, of the week, that makes you want to be better than others or compare yourself with others.
Hmm.
I have been content with my work at some point, and then I have been dissatisfied with my work at also some points, and I
Okay.
have seen myself trying to stabilize, but then I
Hmm.
would still not be happy. At the
Hmm.
peak of my career, that I was doing really well, and I would still compare. And then there's also this thing that when you have set a track record for yourself, a standard, and then if what is that called, if that curve is even a little bit fumbling, you don't feel confident, you feel like you're not worthy enough. So that entire culture makes you insecure. They might have their own reasons and they might
But
be benefiting from it.
it's a workplace, it's a competitive place. It's like
Yeah,
everybody's
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
be showcase that they are the best. Everybody's trying to climb the career ladder. I think that is how it is. Just it's just the environment, I believe, right? That
For instance, for like if lesson learned is being in corporate after for 6 years, lesson learned is that you have to prioritize your learning, your
right,
growth.
right.
All
Oh
right.
my
And
god,
you have to
yes.
also identify your strengths. You're definitely
Great.
going to be weak at some things. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be someone who is good at everything. Me personally, I might sound smart or intelligent, whatever. I might be the top performer. And then there would be the statistics, analysis, blah, blah, blah. I don't know nothing. It's not my cup of tea. And then a manager would be like, "So, you are assigned to do this." And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. And other people who might not be doing really well compared to me, they would be really good at that. And then that tells me that this is not a place for me to be demotivated. Oh, how am I not able to do this? I was this person. So it's important to be kind to yourself and
Right.
compartmentalize, and accept it that, oh, you can be bad at something and there are things that you can be good at. And
You
for
are
that, you
really
should not
excellent
be
at.
scrutinizing. Do good at what you are good at, just continue doing it. So this did not happen overnight, that I came to this conclusion or this understanding of myself that I have to be kind to myself. It took time. It took time to realize that skills matter, I matter, and there is a setting where I might not belong, and there is a setting which will appreciate me a lot.
Also, but would you also say that this helped you accelerate your career in a way, because like you are so competitive and you are like trying to learn everything? I think in a way it also helped you, right? So
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, definitely. But then what happened to my mental health?
right, right, right,
What happened to me not treating myself as a princess? Isn't that the
right,
most
right.
important thing?
Yeah, one of the things that I have unlearned, which is not equating your self-worth to your career or academics, or it just could be anything. Why?
My self-worth comes from my career. I cannot. I mean, I am nobody if my career leaves me or
But
I leave my career, or if I'm not a top performer this month, I am a nobody. I have to
but
do really good at where I am. This is just who I am.
right. But I think, but the another aspect to look at it is in a way that we tend to forget the things that are actually important to us. Maybe, maybe you might have some other hobby or something that you want to do. Maybe you want to pursue art, you want to pursue painting, but you're not doing that because right now you are so chained to a career. We are like, okay, this cannot happen. So the aspect that I want to mention over here is that
Hmm.
you don't need to consider that even if you're taking a sabbatical or anything as such, you
Hmm.
think that,
Hmm.
okay, I want to
Hmm.
quit my job or
Hmm.
something.
Hmm.
It shouldn't
Yeah.
come down to your self worth that, oh, I'm no longer worthy now.
I had taken a sabbatical recently
Hmm. Hmm, hmm,
and
hmm,
I
hmm.
lost myself. I couldn't enjoy the vacation. Can you believe it? I mean, I felt like anybody who's seeing me, he'll be like, she's not working. I was just assuming, I was just putting words
But sabbatical is
supposed to
one of
calm you
the
down.
best thing to ever happen. I'll tell you, I have taken a 1 month sabbatical in my career, and the way it just opened my perspectives to so many things. I would say like that was a time where I unlearned so many things, especially with respect to the career aspect, where I used to think that, oh, I always have to be in the office, I always have to do this, I cannot take
Yeah.
leave. After taking that sabbatical, after being away from the work for a
Huh.
while,
Yeah.
I opened myself up to the outside world. I was like, oh my God, because I'm a product manager, I can think about
Yeah.
so many other things. So I think from creativity aspect, sabbatical is something that you should take. I mean, the whole conclusion that comes from this section is that yes, career is important, but maybe you shouldn't make it your entire identity.
I am in the process of unlearning this
Hmm.
thing. I
Good,
think it'll take me a year or two, but I think I've healed. I'll tell
good.
you also something. If your career is something you're really passionate about, Okay, for instance,
Hmm.
there are people who work 9 to 5 and they hate their
Hmm.
jobs.
Hmm.
Okay,
Right.
but what I am doing is 100% something I love.
Hmm.
Okay, so this defines me. This is who I am. I am a researcher. I
Right.
work in
Right.
biomedical research. I am passionate about this. So when
Hmm.
I am outside of this, I feel like, where is my life support? Or where is my, what is that called? The life jacket. You know, when you jump from the sky, what is that called? They tie the rope to you. You're not
Yeah.
free
Yeah.
falling. So I feel like because I love what I do, I feel like outside of
Yeah.
that, I don't have an identity. But if it were a
Understood.
job that I hated, that this is not
Okay.
my identity, I wouldn't have felt the same way. So
Hmm. I
maybe
got
it's
it.
because of the passion. Maybe it's
Right.
because
Right.
it's I am really passionate about it. So I don't want to be
Hmm.
known detached from it. I don't want to be
Understood.
known to be a Sumaya who's not a researcher,
Hmm.
who's not working in
Understood.
biomedical pharmaceutical science.
Understood. So
That is one thing. But again, that still doesn't eliminate the fact that I should cut myself slack and I should be easy on myself. I sometimes
right.
work Saturdays and Sundays just because I am so passionate about what I'm doing, my current project. I'll just go through articles and papers and I don't take a break sometimes. I forget
Such
to
a
breathe.
I think it's absolutely, in a way beautiful as well, when someone is like so passionate about
It's,
their
yeah.
work. It's like
Hmm.
artists who are so
Yeah.
passionate. I think in that case, I would say, okay, it's not an issue. It's just when it starts, becoming a roadblock as such, that's when I think it becomes an
Hmm.
issue.
And I think it will not affect your mental health or even your overall well-being if you're doing it out of passion, I think.
Huh.
But also I feel like at least in our 20s, I want to use my 20s to the max.
Okay.
I have the energy, I have
Hmm.
the youth right now. So I want to use all of my time. And I
Hmm.
honestly, after coming to the UAE, I've realized I'm not the only one. I've seen
I
so
think
many people like
UAE
me.
has it. I don't know. I think the people there are just so passionate. They're just so
It's their
hardworking.
passion. Before, when I was in India, I
Hmm.
felt like I've reached my max. Like I've
Yeah,
maxed
no?
out. I've explored. I've reached my maximum capacity. I felt like, oh, this is all that I had to explore and I've done it. Like, oh, so this is a life going forward. There's nothing more to establish or, accomplish. Others might not feel that.
Add one point over here. I think it's very important how your environment is, how your surrounding
Yeah,
is, the
yeah, yeah,
people you're
sure.
surrounded by.
And now where I am, I have the motivation every day to do better. I
That
didn't have that in the
is
past 5 years.
right. And that is the most important thing to have, the
Yeah,
purpose aspect,
yeah,
which
yeah,
we will be discussing in detail as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that is what I think keeps you going. And I absolutely love, having passion, having motivation to do
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, if motivation is not there, I still know that okay, I have to put in the effort because there's a bigger purpose for all of that. So
So, I mean, to just like to summarize this one thing, I would
hmm,
say that working hard, okay, you have to work hard. There's no excuse to that.
right.
But that's a different topic, and
Hmm,
you have to compartmentalize it with the fact that you have to be kind to yourself. So, being
okay.
kind to yourself does not mean take 3 holidays in a
Hmm,
week and just relax and sleep until 10 and then go to office whenever, or just
hmm,
do the bare minimum and leave and
hmm,
not try to learn. So yeah, you have to be hardworking, you have to put the efforts. For instance, when I came into the UAE first, or even back in India, like I told you, I would not be able to accept if someone is doing better than me. I was the
hmm,
top performer every month, and if one month I was not, that was the end for me. Trying to make a point is that the thing is the same, that being kind to yourself doesn't really have to be that you are cutting slack and then not doing well enough in your life. You can find influential people, successful people who are kind to themselves, but maybe not in the initial years or whatever. They grew, they became better. So kind will have a different definition. Let's imagine, okay, let's say that you and I are kids, and you and I go to the same college or school or whatever it is. If I don't compare myself to you in the early developmental stages, I will not have the drive to do better.
right.
For instance, if I keep telling my kid, ki, go to school,
You are the
just don't worry
best.
about others. Yeah, you are the best. You don't
Right.
need validation, or you
Hmm.
don't even need to do good. You're the best. You're best already. The kid is not going to grow. The kid is not
Right.
going to do better. So
Hmm.
there are departments, there are ways you can be kind to yourself, and you have to learn that. And successful people don't have like really good backstories, by the way. Nice. They don't have a nice backstory.
So, another thing that I have also unlearned, it is, I would say rather than unlearn, I have learned that,
Okay.
journey can be more beautiful. I mean, you outcome should matter, yes, but the journey can equally be as beautiful as outcome. And
Yeah.
another aspect to this is also this, that sometimes, journey can be like 2 years long. Outcome would be
Hmm.
maybe, after 2 years you are getting some outcome, but what matters is that you got that outcome, but it was also because of the journey. And I think it is also something to do with, because I think most of the people sometimes hesitate to maybe follow their dreams or to do the hard work, right? Most of the people take a step back, especially I would be like, if it's too much hard work, I'll not do it, because I'll be like, I want to find an easy way out of it. But there's not necessarily an easy way for anything. For anything you want, you have to put in the effort, you have to put in
You
the
have to be
hours.
delusional.
Yes, because like I also saw that, you become better. The sportsmen or anybody who's
Yeah,
learning to play a
yeah,
piano, they get to where they are after putting in all the hours, after putting in the efforts
sure,
and the time.
sure.
That is like, I think it's 10,000 hours or something to be the best
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
skill.
Hmm.
And I think we, especially considering the today's, fast environment and everything, I think we, all of us want things very fast. We are like, yeah, okay, I want
Rewarding.
all of it, yes. But most of us have also forgotten the fact that the core principles of success, the core principles and the fundamentals of how life works remains the same. It doesn't matter if there is Instagram today, tomorrow. I think the pace at which we can achieve certain things, the fundamentals don't go away. In the sense, you still have to put in the effort, you still have to put
Hmm.
in the hours. That won't
Hmm.
ever, I think it won't ever change, right? It won't ever be like you're not doing anything and then you're getting some outcome. You have to always put in the effort. Yeah. So this has been something that I have unlearned, sort of, that
Hmm.
uh, basically just be okay with doing the hard work, be okay with putting in the work. That is the overall lesson that I've learned. Anything you want to add to this?
I totally agree with this thing that you said, that outcome. But can you
Hmm.
predict the outcome? Honestly, nobody, no person has ever been able
No.
to predict
So okay, I think
100%
this
success
is
rate.
right. It is also something very important that even if you don't get the outcome, you should still
Hmm.
put in the effort, right?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah, yeah,
journey,
yeah,
it's all coming back to
yeah,
that point, that enjoy the
yeah.
journey while working hard, because outcomes doesn't matter. Also, it's up to God's. I mean, God decides the outcome. We put in, we tie our camel, and then we get the, I mean, God
Failures are
decides.
better teachers, right?
Right.
The more you fail, what didn't kill you only made you stronger, kind of situation.
Right.
Definitely. Do birds, when they fly out of their nest for the day, do they think, oh, I'm going to find food? No, they just fly out, they
Right.
find food, they
Right.
come back to their nest. And what are they doing? They're consistently just waking up and flying out with the
Right.
hope that
I
they'll find.
think.
So we can never give up on
Hmm,
what we are doing. We
hmm,
have to just
right.
keep going, and in that journey, it's important to enjoy. It's important to not lose hope. It's important to
Hmm,
not stress on what's going to happen tomorrow. But that
hmm,
also does not mean that you just be loose and not be prepared for tomorrow. That's a different story. You have to be prepared, but not worried and stressed. So I unlearned this thing after a long, long time, because I've been this person who's always stressed.
hmm.
What's going to happen tomorrow? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do well? Or and then this has honestly happened to me so many times, Abhiya, so far in my life. Anything I've stressed about, I have realized later that I was just burning my brain cells, stressing on them. Everything worked out really well in the end, and I've always criticized myself for worrying and making myself go through so much for
It
one
is,
thing which turned
yeah,
out really, really well at the end. So I've
right.
learned, and I think this also helps us build a very good relationship with God.
Yes,
This is, you're
yes,
learning by experience. You're learning that at the end things work out. If it didn't work out,
yes,
it's, yeah, that's an indication that you're not supposed to stop. You're supposed to keep
right,
going on.
right, right.
Yeah, but
I think
acha,
it's
okay, tell me, huh? Yeah, 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 tell me.
I think it's also just in the nature, right? The bird example that you gave. It is
Yeah,
not some example, it is actually a true thing. That is
yeah,
how God made the world. Now, another thing I was also thinking, which I want to put it as a metaphor, is like if the tree have fruits, right? In order to eat those fruits, are those fruits coming directly in your hand? No. It is like you
yeah,
have to go, you have to climb, you have to,
yeah,
many a times you even
yeah.
have to open the fruit and then you can eat
Hmm,
it.
hmm, hmm,
It's not
hmm,
something
hmm,
that
hmm.
will just, directly come to your.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the whole point. Like, if you want to stress about things, you can stress about a million things.
Right.
But what can you do actively is
Hmm.
that you save yourself from all that stress, put your hard work, put your efforts, and
Hmm.
honestly from your heart that
Hmm.
you have done your part. Things will
Right.
follow. If they don't follow, if
Right.
they don't happen the way they are supposed to happen according to you, then that's not meant for you, or it's supposed to happen in a very different way. So honestly, this was not something that was easy for me to follow. I'm saying all of this right now, but at this current stage of life, I've realized that how untrusting I was of God. That what is the whole
Faith.
point? I've
Yeah.
met people, yes, I've met people who have gone through stressful times, and I have also opened up to people and spoken about my hardships, my journeys, and they have seen me stress, they have seen me worry about something, and they'll be like, well, how are you thinking that you can calculate everything? You are doing
Such an
so much
important
mental
point.
work, so that tells me you don't have trust in God. That means,
Oh my
so your
God.
faith
Yeah.
is, yeah, she literally said that to my face. So you think that you will plan and execute everything, so you don't believe in God? Then what is he sitting there for? And that hit me so hard. This happened like 2 years ago.
Right.
I was too full of myself. I thought, yes, I believe in God. I'm a religious
Hmm.
woman, and I also plan my life. I also do this. I have to stress on everything. And then she said, there are a few things you can actually plan and execute, like taking a test. Let's say you have to study to take the test, and you'll do well. There is no other way you can do well. But then there are things that you cannot control in your life. So for that, how can you sit and calculate?
Right.
you know so she told me this, like, Soumya, I don't understand how you're going with this. Like, so you don't believe there's a God then? So why is he sitting there? What is he gonna,
Right.
what is his role in your life then? So you feel like everything has to be determined and decided and done by you. He has no part in your life. Is that how fickle your faith in God is? And that hit me hard. That's when I realized, oh, let's just take a break. Let's calm down. Things are supposed to happen in a way, and they will. All we can do is keep faith, work hard, be positive, be positive.
Right.
Yeah.
And learning
So
to
yeah.
trust. Okay, let me ask you a really good question. Do you find yourself, sometimes forming an opinion about someone? Or maybe because, like, let's say someone was super rude to you and you're like, oh my God, this person is not good. You don't want to associate with them anymore. So do
Already
you find
judged them.
yourself right? Do you do that? Because again, this is something that I used to, sort of be like, so if there was anybody who used to, talk rudely to me or to anybody around me,
Hmm.
I used to
Hmm. Hmm.
automatically think that, oh, this person is not good. This person is
Hmm.
just not
Hmm.
good.
Hmm.
Like, this is the opinion I would form about them. But
Hmm.
after talking to them, after knowing them,
Yeah.
I felt like, oh my God, these people had reasons to do that. It's
Be
like,
whoever
just
they are.
because, right, just because they were rude to me doesn't necessarily mean that they are like a bad people.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think separating these two things have been such a profound thing, I would say. Because another thing
Yeah.
is, because what happens with me is that I, usually also used to hold a lot of grudges. I used to be like, okay, this person is rude, so I have to make a list. I have to be like, okay, I'll not talk to this person ever again or associate myself with this person. But then I was like, why am I doing that? Right? I could just let them go from my mind. I can just be like, okay, I don't care, like, do whatever you want to
But then that
do.
takes strength, right? That takes a
That
lot of
takes strength.
strength.
And also
You
also
have
again,
to.
it's about acceptance as well. You just realize that it doesn't matter because you never know what is going on in a person's life,
Oh, but you're
in their
talking with a
head.
very high level maturity, by the way. This
Huh.
understanding, this maturity comes with age. And the more
Right.
people you meet, for you are a product manager. So you
Right.
definitely are meeting many, many people
Many.
and many
Yeah.
different types, different kinds.
Right.
And even if you don't like them, you have to interact with them.
Oh
And
yes,
especially
yes.
anyone who's in corporate or anyone who's
Right.
working,
Right.
this is,
Right.
you have to meet a ton of people every day. I have also seen people, and I cannot say 100% that I have never judged people. I have. I think I
Hmm.
still do. Why do we come to a
Hmm.
conclusion about someone and
Hmm.
close our minds for them?
Hmm.
We do this to protect ourselves. We think they
Oh.
are a threat for us. For
Oh
instance, I
yeah.
see you. I see you in my
Oh my
workplace.
God.
You're some random girl, okay?
Hmm.
But you have this kind of attitude where
Hmm.
you don't open up to people. You just walk into the room, you see the screen, you talk your points, and then you leave. You don't smile to people, you don't associate with people, you don't share your lunch with people, you don't spend your time with people. So what image is that forming about you? What am I thinking in my mind is that if I go out of my way to go talk to you, try to make friends with you, you're not going to like it, and that will insult me.
Hmm.
Oh, this is what I get for going out of my way and
Oh,
talking to that girl.
okay,
So
okay,
my ego is
understood.
now bruised. We judge people to
Right.
protect ourselves. That's the core reason behind that. But to be above that, that
Hmm.
takes maturity, that takes security within yourself. And
Hmm.
inherently, nobody is mean. Your nervous
Hmm.
system is designed to be
Kind.
positive,
Okay,
to
to
be
be
positive.
positive.
So any
Right.
person you meet who is not kind or mean or
Hmm.
arrogant or rude, it is not helping them. They want to be
Hmm.
better. It's
Right.
like the body trying to calibrate. Also, why are they mean? If they are mean, they are also
Yeah.
insecure, they are also scared that
Oh.
someone might attack them. They are
Hmm.
forming a wall already around them.
So
So
they are
you
trying to
have to,
attack
yeah,
first.
they're trying to protect themselves. So whenever I see someone and I feel like, oh, her behavior is a little reserved
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
different or even
Hmm.
rude, let's say someone has been rude to me, so I
Hmm.
make excuses for them on their behalf.
Okay.
I
Wow.
make excuses that maybe she had a
Hmm.
bad day.
Okay.
Maybe there's something that is triggering her.
Hmm.
Maybe there's
Right.
something wrong going on in her home. Maybe her project is not delivered. There is something,
Hmm.
because like I told you, I truly, truly, truly believe that humans are designed to be
Hmm.
positive. So
Right.
anytime you put something dirt or a negative thought,
Hmm.
your system tries to eliminate it. Did you see this movie? Watch this movie, Hoppers.
Oh yeah, I have seen it.
Did Doesn't the guy say again? He keeps saying again, nobody is bad, everybody is good.
Be
Yeah, he
yes, King
keeps saying all
George.
the time, no, nobody is
Huh.
bad, everybody is good. We just
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
find the
yeah.
goodness in them.
Oh my
So
God,
just make
yes.
excuses. Yeah, just make excuses for people, and as long as they are not attacking you, but also be mindful of the boundaries that you are supposed to have.
Oh,
You can't be just
that is
going,
by default.
yeah, you can't be just going and exposing yourself to someone who's a
Hmm.
threat to you.
Hmm.
But also, what does it do? Okay, okay, we have discovered this, that there is a reason why people behave a certain way,
Hmm.
and there is a reason why we form judgments on people. How does that affect us mentally? For instance, I'm forming an opinion about someone. Judging people is gonna
Hmm.
affect you only. Like
Yes,
at
at
the
the
end,
end
it's
of the
gonna
day.
affect you.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Right,
mess your
right,
head. So let's
right.
just stop judging people. We can try.
Yes. So, about the self-worth topic that we were just talking about, but actually, for me, it started quite early. And since the beginning, as far as I can remember, I used to be a topper every time. And then suddenly in fifth grade, I remember my rank went to second. Yeah, my parents had a different reaction. They were like, why is this like this? Like, can you imagine? It's not even like you are above distinction or anything. It's like, why are you not ranking first? That was a problem. And because of this as well, in 10th grade, I used to study day in, day night, all the time. I used to be worried. I used to pray a lot as well. That, dear God, please, the only reason I used to do all of that was because I wanted to make people around me proud, because I wanted
Hmm.
to know, to let them know that yes, I'm still a topper. Because again, like how 10th grade is something which is like final.
Yeah,
It's like
very,
it defines your
yeah,
entire 10 years. It defines your
entire.
school. It's like it's like whatever you did before, it just goes. But now, if you are like scoring
No, thank
95,
God, thank God we are out of that. Nobody asks
my
grade now.
God, yes, yes, grades don't
Nobody
matter.
even
So,
asks. Nobody
right,
even asks
right.
what I scored in my bachelor's in pharmacy.
Oh
Nobody
my God.
cares.
Yeah. But again, I think, but that also sort of led me to later on having, I have overcome it thankfully. But I used to have this imposter syndromes where I used to be like, okay, I have to be the best in the room. And if I see
Uh,
someone doing slightly better than me, I would be like, okay,
I
I'm not
relate
doing
with
good.
you.
And I think
Hmm.
it's also unfair because the the entire education spectrum and the corporate spectrum are two different things completely, right? In corporate, there is no such playbook as such.
Ah,
It's
okay,
like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that is where I think imposter syndrome, it's very common. I don't think necessarily it has
Hmm.
anything to do with
Hmm.
you being the
Hmm.
topper earlier. Everybody gets that, irrespective of their grades, irrespective of who they are. I think it's a common thing. I think it's just about acceptance, right?
I never believed that I am a good performer
Hmm.
because I was not a
Hmm.
topper of
Hmm.
college or school. So I can be better.
Yeah, yeah,
But my
that is what
kids, I will encourage them to do well. I will encourage
it.
them to be toppers. I'm not going to pressurize them, but I'm not going to
Right.
be this person that, oh, it's okay, you're best, don't
Yeah,
worry about the
right, right,
grades. I'm
right,
not going to say
right.
that.
So basically, the key takeaway here is that it is like you can be a topper, but at the same time, you also have to focus on other areas, sports, your
Yeah,
hobbies,
yeah,
and all
yeah.
of that
No,
matters.
because that's
Like
important,
holistically,
Sabia.
it is very important. Yeah.
That is very important. So you can't, no, but now that I
Hmm.
am, let's say, out of school and I'm seeing younger generation,
Hmm.
I'm seeing kids. I get really, really surprised when I find a
Hmm.
kid who is a
Hmm.
top ranker in her
Hmm.
class, but at
Hmm.
the same time, she
Hmm.
is also good at speaking. She has a
Hmm.
hobby. She has like a YouTube channel where she's posting stuff. She
Hmm.
has a small business.
Wow.
So that really makes me feel good. Ki, oh, so there are
Right.
people like that. So that's all.
Hmm.
I think that's all in like also how parents direct children to be.
Right.
So
Right.
inshallah, hopefully I will train my kids to be better at
Right.
everything.
Okay. So before we wrap this up, do you have anything you want to say? Is there anything you want to talk about? Maybe not necessarily, things that you have unlearned, learned, or anything. It's just, do you want to maybe summarize it? What is it? Okay.
You know what I feel? I feel like we did speak about so many things today, but then there are so many more things that we have unlearned, we have relearned, but maybe we have not been able to put a name to it or identify
Okay.
it. So
I
maybe we
also
can
think,
have
right.
another
I
episode
also,
of
right.
this,
Oh,
and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. We can
yeah, we can
definitely
do
do
that.
that. And I
Yeah.
also think that unlearning is not a one time thing. It is something that you will keep doing. Maybe some of
Hmm.
the things that we
Hmm.
talked
Hmm.
about, it is very much possible
Hmm.
that later on we could have a completely different opinion about that.
Opinion
We
on
would be
that?
like,
Yeah,
we
totally.
would be like, no, no, that's not the
Yeah, yeah,
case.
yeah.
And that's, I think, totally okay. So I think it's
Hmm.
just that we have to, I love speaking in metaphors, by the way. So I think we have to think of ourselves as like a flowing river. It's like,
Sure,
there's like things are always,
sure.
it's not going to stay the same. The waves will keep
Hmm.
coming in and we have to accept it. And we have to just be like, okay, fine, you know what? It's okay. It's fine.
You have to learn to forgive yourself for how you have been before.
Right.
And yeah, this is a really big thing I learned, unlearned and relearned, that
Hmm.
I have to forgive myself for not
Right.
having the knowledge or maturity that I have
Hmm.
now. Back then, I
But,
did few things out
hmm.
of immaturity or lack of knowledge that hurt
Hmm.
me,
Hmm.
that caused me pain in
Hmm.
any form or way. But
Hmm.
now I have changed. So sometimes I criticize myself, oh yeah, if I had known better, I would not have
Hmm.
caused that much pain to my own
Right.
self.
Right.
But then now
Right.
I forgive myself sometimes, that
Right.
it's okay. She was young, she didn't know
Right.
better, she didn't see the
Forgiving
world, nobody
your
taught her
younger self.
herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody taught her all those things,
Hmm.
so she did that. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, khalas.
Right.
You
Right.
do that. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about on the same topic. I mean, there is so much
Right.
to explore, and this was a really, really, it was a heart to heart session for me. I feel like
Right, right.
I was able to.
I absolutely enjoyed, absolutely
Sure.
learned knowing
Yeah.
your perspectives on many
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
things that you
yeah,
mentioned.
yeah.
And I think even during this whole episode, I learned about few things I unlearned. It's like a whole inception. I think it will keep
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah. Yes, absolutely. And I think we are looking forward to have more and more interesting topics. We already have a
Right.
list, and we are so excited to explore, deep dive, jump
Yeah.
into all of those aspects of life in general. So many things planned out. Inshallah, inshallah,
Yes.
inshallah, everything is gonna go well. And so
Inshallah.
this is a wrap, and see you next week.